My name is Jeannie Stanton. I'm a third-generation Idahoan. Both my grandmothers were born here in the 1890s. I'm very proud of that. I'm also proud of the fact that I have dual citizenship with New Zealand. And so I do take a bit of offense when people say that, you know, no one's leaving this country to go to Canada. I think that has more to do with the weather. You know, New Zealand is a beautiful place. It has great weather, and I feel blessed that I have dual citizenship. I have a house there. I have a house here.
I've heard it's beautiful. But the reality is that you have twice as many people moving from Canada to the United States as there are people moving to the United States, and Canada has 10 times the population.
Right.
So if they had the same population, you would actually have 20 people moving to the United States for every person.
Probably for the weather.
Yeah.
Anyway, I believe in Canada as well as definitely in New Zealand, there is a single pay medical, nationalized, socialized medicine. So I believe that I am one of the few people, definitely in this room, if not in this entire country, who has lived under both systems.
Correct.
I personally have never had a problem with either system. Okay, so I don't think people need to fear nationalized medicine. It is a single pay. The other thing I would like to point out on that is that this is a great country. There are 92 free countries in the world. So we're special, but we're not that special. So keep that in mind.
What I'm saying is people are not leaving the United States to go to those countries because we're a great country.
They're leaving now. Yeah, well, I'm going to be leaving in a year from now.
Okay.
I'm going, but to New Zealand. A quote, I believe it may have been Gandhi, that said, "A nation's greatness is measured by how it treats its weakest." My question to you, Congressman, is you have said repeatedly that you don't believe healthcare is a right. The implication is that it is a privilege. Could you please explain your thinking on this?
Yeah, a right is not a right guaranteed by the Constitution. We can have the debate whether it should be public policy that whether we provide health care or not. But it's not guaranteed by the Constitution. It's not something that is mandated by the government. If it's a right, that means that the government can compel people to provide it. But I can go to Dr. Rushi and tell him that he must provide that health care to somebody. I can't. I don't think we should in the United States mandate Dr. Rushi to do that. If he wants to provide that service, and he feels that that's his responsibility, I think he should have that ability to do it. And we're the most generous country in the world. We provide the most services to people, and we provide the most access to people. We have more health, more welfare than any other country. We do the things that are necessary to help people. Our community should take care of each other, and they do take care of each other. You have more in our community, more people giving of their time and their talent. But I don't think the government has a responsibility to provide it. It's not mandated by the Constitution. That's what I mean.
Over here.
Hi, my name is Jean Nothingwell.
I can't hear you.
I'm Jean Nothingwell, and I want to thank you. I respect you for coming today. And I've decided that even if my family and I received at least 70% of our health care for the rest of our lives, I don't want your job. I have something to share with you, and then I have one simple question, but I thought Miguel might like to see. This is a National Geographic special from November 2015, and it is a special Cool It issue.
Can I say it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Climate change is here. And it has articles on villages that are being buried under, ice water. The conditions of the Eskimos, Greenlanders, whose homes are disappearing. It also has a great article on islanders whose land is being swallowed up by rising oceans. There's a lot of good stuff in here, but I wanted to share one two-sentence statement from the beginning. Here's the challenge. And National Geo isn't what I would call a particularly controversial issue. But Natural climate cycles explain why the warming has happened unevenly and fitfully, but not the warming trend itself, which has overwhelmed the cooling effect of the ash from volcanoes. It has coincided over the past half-century with a surge in carbon emissions from our rapidly industrializing world. Finding a way to stop those emissions and climate change is the challenge for the next half-century. So there you have that.
All right.
And it's funny because this issue was in partnership with Shell Oil. And so I think Shell Oil must smell some money or something there.
Right, I think
in
that's part of the
green
issue.
technologies.
Yeah, and I'm all for green technology. I just don't think we need to mandate it. And that's why Shell Oil wants to mandate it, because they're going to make all the benefits from it.
I think that we do have some proof that there is some indication that humans are involved in this. But more importantly,
I don't disagree with that.
We need to get out of the sandbox and stop arguing about who's responsible and do something.
Yeah.
But my question,
think about what Shell Oil wants. I'm glad you said that. These big corporations want the mandates because they have the technology that they're going to benefit from. I don't want it to be mandated. If Shell Oil wants to actually give us better energy, I'm all for it. If they want to, do hydrogen, if they want to do nuclear, whatever it is that they want to do, I just don't think we should be mandating it, because what you're going to do is you're going to pick winners and losers, and Shell Oil is going to win, and everybody else is going to lose, and I just don't think that's appropriate.
my question for you is actually not so related to this, but in March of this year, you stated, quote, Attorney General Sessions did the right thing. By recusing himself, he avoided any appearance of a conflict of interest in any future investigations. And this was related to, you also stated, I do believe that transparency and trust require even the appearance of conflict of interest to be avoided. I commend him for his quick actions. This is what you're saying about Attorney General Sessions. I commend him for his quick actions to preserve the trust of all Americans in the impartiality of their justice system, end quote. I commend you for making that very wise and ethical statement. I commend you. But Representative Labrador, my question to you is this. You say that you feel it's important to preserve the trust of all Americans. Do you recognize that your unwillingness to stand up for complete transparency regarding the President's refusal to completely disclose his financial conflicts of interest is instead serving to erode the trust of all Americans? Yes or no?
The law was very clear that an Attorney General who had a conflict of interest should not be investigating something that relates to that conflict. That's actually clear law and clear precedent from having been a lawyer. I think that I'm glad that he did it, because some people in my party were asking him not to do it, and I thought that was wrong. I thought he needed to do it. That's what the law required and what the ethics of being a lawyer required. There's nothing in the law or ethics that requires a president to provide his tax returns. It does require him to provide a form, which he provided, which is thousands of pages long, that talks about all of his dealings in business. And if he violates that law, he can go to jail for that. But there's nothing in the law that requires him to provide his tax returns. And I just don't think that we need to require anybody to provide their tax returns.
Do you think it's just a little bit odd that given the circumstances under which he's elected, that he is the only modern president who's refused to show us his tax returns? You don't feel that's odd?
I don't.
Okay, so we're 15 minutes over the allotted time. Do you want to do one more question, Congressman?
Let's do a few more.
Okay.
Let's do it quickly, though.
Okay, so 632, I'll call out a couple numbers here. 632 and 618. Do we have those? If you have those, raise your hand. Okay. Well, we should be fair.
No, sir, we can't do that. We can't do
People have left, they've left. I want to ask you something. I've got a son with juvenile diabetes, and I'm very concerned about the act you just passed. And I'm not convinced that you've set aside enough money, because you're all guessing about how much money they're going to need. I was impressed when you said that you would look at the question of a medicine costing $2 in Mexico and $200 in this country. But I want you to go further. Have you looked at the systems in other Western countries, the countries that I've lived in, where everybody is covered? Where a mother doesn't have to worry in the morning if a baby is coughing blood, whether she's got enough in a bank account to go to see the doctor. So when you say that this is the best system in the world for welfare, I think you are sorely mistaken. This is a great country, but I'll tell you what, the medical system is not the best in the world. It's the best for the rich people, but not for the rest of us.
Okay, so number 464. Do we have number 464?
They can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. Number 464.
And do the next one.
And then the last number is 458. You have 458. Go ahead with your question, sir.
All right. Thank you, Representative Labrador, for holding this town hall. You're a brave man.
It's not it's my job to be here and to represent you. And even if you disagree with me, I enjoy it most of the time to be in these town halls, and I'm just grateful that you're here.
Thank you. So here's my concern. I've looked at your voting record, and on legislation supporting renewable energy and environmental protection, you're consistently no, don't support those. And suppose, and we would think that maybe it's don't support those because you're worried about putting undue restrictions and handicaps on business, but the evidence shows that this actually hurts our economy. Hurts our economy and neglects a growing source of jobs. I've got more statistics here than I'll read, but one is the solar industry now supports 374,000 jobs. And job growth in that sector is outgrowing the rate of growth in our economies by 17 times, yet we don't support that.
So you can finish your question, but let's separate I support renewable energy. I just don't support mandates.
Then why is it that China has taken over, has co-opted the industries that we should be controlling right now? 70% of all solar panels are manufactured by China. 50% of the turbine manufacturing plants are in China. Those are industries we should own and we should have. And because we don't support those legislatively, we've given that up to China and other countries.
I don't think we have given that up. I think we have.
Is 30% good?
It's not. We can improve it.
Is 50% good?
We don't do it by mandates. If you look at what happens when we do mandates, you look about the solar industry. So Lindra wasted a bunch of money. All these companies wasted a bunch of money because we were doing mandates and we were giving them government money. I think when we encourage businesses to thrive and to do their work, they can do it on their own. They don't need government assistance. They don't need government subsidy to do their job. The government subsidizes the things that are not working very well, and is not good at subsidizing things that are good. We need to make sure that we give them the freedom and opportunity to do their job. Look at nuclear, for example. I'm a big supporter of nuclear. We make it so difficult for people to develop in the nuclear industry. We should make it easy for people to develop with windmills. We should make it easier for people.
I agree that we should, but we're not doing that.
What we're not doing is we're not subsidizing it. I don't believe in subsidies, and I think subsidies tend to backfire. And the reality is our economy is stronger than China. China has more people in poverty. They have more people making less money than we do. I don't want China's economy in the United States.
So you don't want the 70% of the solar business?
I would love to have that, but we don't need to.
The wind business?
I want all of it, but we don't need to subsidize it.
If it were true, just imagine for a moment, if it happened to be true that some help with these industries would change things, would give us more jobs, would give us more of a hold in the industry of solar and of wind. If that would help, would you be willing to support?
But it's not true.
I mean, no, I asked you a hypothetical.
Oh, if it were true. If it were true, absolutely. But the reality is that
have you studied?
I have. You look at Obama spent $1 trillion on subsidizing his preferred industries, and the economy remained flat for the 8 years. that.
The economy is not remaining flat. He came into an economy that was going down.
The economy had the slowest growth in the history of the United States.
That's actually incorrect.
That is correct.
That is incorrect.
It is.
That is incorrect.
It did have a single quarter above 3%, which had never happened in
So part of our lack of focus on supporting renewables,
I'm sorry.
part of our lack of focus in supporting renewable energies has affected also our lack of support for environmental protection. And I understand that we're worried that we might slow down business if we were to give them regulations that would hamper them. But the regulations that the EPA supports, and has supported in the past, are regulations that protect the health of our children. There's
I want to protect our children.
of course you do. And I know in Kellogg, Idaho, in 1973, the lead levels in children's blood was 16 times what we consider to be healthy. Were it not for the EPA, it would probably still be the case. And because we created, the EPA was allowed to create a Superfund agency. The blood levels in Kellogg and Facility Valley are near normal rates. So my question to you is this. As a reasonable man, and I consider you to be a reasonable man, I know you're not making decisions that would knowingly harm us.
Correct.
As a reasonable man who wants a healthier economy, I know that's true, and a healthier and better employed workforce, I know that's true.